Hi again. We're going to talk today about employment-based visas. These are visas for employers that are coming to stay permanently, not necessarily just folks that are arriving on a temporary basis to work for a few years and then go back home. Employment-based visas can lead to permanent residency, which in turn can lead to citizenship. Employment-based visas are like family visas, which are also permanent, and family visas have categories. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you are in the top first category, and you can immediately get a green card. However, if your relationship is, for example, to a sibling of a citizen, you're not considered to be as important of a family relationship, and that can lead to a green card, but you have to wait on a long line, sometimes 15 years. Employment-based visas work the same way. They have 5 categories based on importance and to the country of the worker, or the perceived importance of that worker. And based on the category, that dictates usually how quickly and how easily the alien can immigrate. Let's talk about the first category, the one where people can come in quickest with the least restrictions: priority workers. Priority workers are people with extraordinary abilities, people who are famous, world famous actor or businessman or businesswoman, or a doctor, somebody who's written books and been on TV and is well known around the world, or perhaps very well known within their field. These aliens of extraordinary ability and outstanding researchers and professors, or well-known international executives and managers and business people, they're considered first preference. And if you can prove that person has those accolades and merits in the visa petition application, Form I-140, which I'd like you to look at, and that's indicated in the Blackboard instructions, then those folks will come in pretty seamlessly and easily. Next, you have the second preference, and these are individuals that aren't necessarily famous, but they have advanced degrees and exceptional abilities. And these folks, you'll need to show that that they have really unique abilities that the company needs, but you do also need to show that you're not taking a job away from a U.S. citizen or permanent resident worker, and there are requirements that you advertise that job to the public: job fairs, magazines, newspapers, internal postings, websites, etc., to show that you tried to find U.S.-based workers and you couldn't. Then there's a third preference, skilled worker, and these are also sort of a catch-all phrase for other skilled workers that don't fall into the first 2 categories. And again, those skilled workers have that same requirement, or you have that same requirement as an HR professional, to show that you tried to advertise for the job and you couldn't find anybody that qualified, and you did on things like on-campus recruiting, advertising, as I said, in newspapers and journals, used in private employment firms. Maybe you went to job fairs, campus fairs, and you documented all this. Local newspaper advertising, you keep documentation showing that you tried to find somebody and you couldn't. There's also a requirement that you show that you're offering a fair wage, which is similar to the H-1B requirement. Next, we have the fourth preference category, which is restricted to religious workers. So I won't spend a lot of time there, but if you happen to be if you work for a church or a temple or a mosque and you want to bring in a religious worker, you want to look at those fourth preferences. And then there's a fifth preference we won't spend time on, but that's for investors, people coming in to start their own businesses or invest in existing businesses. Usually HR people aren't involved with that. You do want to be sure that you understand how to look at the waiting lists for the 5 different categories. If you Google Visa Bulletin, you'll see the Visa Bulletin is listed, and it has the weights for all 5 categories. The first category is current, almost always current, meaning there's no wait. But some of the other categories, such as the third category, could have weights. And there's special longer waits for people from 8 different countries: China, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, India, Mexico, Philippines, and Vietnam. Those countries tend to be oversubscribed, and those do have longer waits. So you want to look at that at the chart, the weight chart at the Visa Bulletin, and you want to look at the category and the country, and it'll tell you, if you see a little C for current, that means there's no wait and you can move forward with the application. However, if there's a date inside the box when you basically intersect the preference category, first, second, third, or fourth, and you categorize the country. If there's a date there, then that means you have to wait until that date passes. So you want to check that out. You should also look at Form I-140. Again, the instructions and the form itself, that's the form that kicks these off. So that's a little bit about employment-based visas, and we will discuss employment-based visas a little bit further on in the course as well. Thanks so much.